Hello Year 5, today we are learning to convert between mixed numbers and improper fractions. For today's lesson you will need your maths books, a pencil, any of the task sheets if you have them printed out, but don't worry if you don't, and your brain. Don't forget you can pause the video at any time and pause it now if you'd like to go and collect any of those things. Just a quick reminder here. Don't forget that the bottom number of a fraction is called the denominator and the top number is called the numerator. So sometimes we have numbers that have a whole number and a fraction too. This diagram represents a mixed number fraction. Can you write this whole number and a fraction as a mixed number? You can clearly see that there are two wholes in this mixed number fraction, as you have one whole completely shaded in yellow and another whole completely shaded in yellow, giving you 2. Then in the final diagram, it is split into quarters, and 3 of those fourths, 3/4, are shaded in yellow, giving you 3/4. So you end up with 2 3/4. Pause the video and have a go at writing this one as a mixed number fraction. This one shows just one whole. There is one whole shaded in yellow, giving you 1. And on the diagram on the right, it is split into 6, and 4 of those 6 are shaded in yellow, giving you 4/6. So the answer is 1 4/6. We can show these mixed number fractions pictorially using a diagram. To represent 1 2/3, you need a diagram that shows one whole completely coloured in. In this case, it's coloured in yellow. Then your second diagram would be split into thirds, and 2 of those thirds would be shaded in yellow to represent 1 whole and 2/3. Over to you. Have a go at showing these mixed fractions pictorially using a diagram. Pause the video now to give you a chance to draw your diagrams. So let's have a look and see if you're right. The first one you did was 2 3/5. You can clearly see that there are 2 holes, so your diagram should have started off with 2 holes completely shaded in. Your last diagram should have been split into fifths, and 3 of those fifths should have been shaded in. Your diagram should have looked something like this, showing 2 holes completely shaded in, and then 3/5 shaded in with 2/5 blank. To represent 4 1/4, you should have 4 holes completely shaded in. Then your fifth diagram should have been split into fourths, into quarters, and one of those quarters should have been shaded in to show 1/4. So your diagram representing 4 1/4 should have looked something like this. There's also something called improper fractions, and this is where the fraction isn't written as a mixed number, so 2 3/5. It would be written all as a fraction. So we can see in our diagram that 2 3/5 is depicted as 2 wholes and 3/5. But if we count how many fifths altogether, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, we can clearly see that if we write that as an improper fraction, that would be 13 over 5, 13/5. Over to you. Have a go at drawing a diagram to convert each of these mixed number fractions into improper fractions. Pause the video to give yourself time. So 2 2/3 would be 8/3, 8 over 3 as an improper fraction. You can see from the diagram that each of my diagrams is split into thirds, and 2 of them are completely shaded in to show the 2 wholes, and the last one only has 2 of the thirds shaded in. If we count up the number of thirds, there are 8 thirds shaded in, which gives you the improper fraction of 8 over 3. One 1/5 would be written as 6/5 as an improper fraction. You can see that 1 whole is completely shaded in my diagram, giving you 5/5, and then 1/5 of my bottom diagram is shaded in, giving you 6/5 in total. 3 2/4 or 3 2/4 would be written as 14/4 or 14/4 as an improper fraction. All 3 of my wholes are completely shaded in, giving you 12/4 altogether shaded in. Then on my last diagram, only 2 of my fourths are shaded in. 12 add 2 is 14, which gives you 14/4 altogether. If you are fairly confident with that, we can use our times table knowledge instead of using diagrams. And to do that, you need to make sure you follow the steps to success. So first of all, you have to multiply the whole number part by the fraction's denominator. Can you remember where that is? That's the bottom number of the fraction. Then you add that to the numerator. That's the number at the top of the fraction. And then write the result on top of the denominator. So if you look at the diagram at the bottom, you can clearly see for this one, the fraction is 4 1/3. So to find what the improper fraction would be, you would multiply 4 by the denominator, which is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. You would then add that 12 to the numerator. In this case, this is 1. So 12 add 1 gives you 13. So your improper fraction would be 13 over 3. So let's apply that to this question. What is 3 2/4 as an improper fraction? So the first thing you would need to do is, following the steps to success, is multiply the whole number by the fraction's denominator. So that would be 3 times 4, which would give you 12. Then, still following the steps to success, we would need to add that to the numerator. So 12 add 2 equals 14. Then we would write this on top of the denominator. So it would become 14 over 4. Over to you. Pause the video and have a go at writing these mixed number fractions as an improper fraction, following the steps to success. So the answers to these would be 3 5/6 as an improper fraction would be 23 over 6, because 3 times 6 is 18. Add 18 to the 5 to give you 23, which gives you 23 over 6. 4 6/7 would be 34 over 7, because 4 times 7 is 28. Add that to the 6 to give you 34. And then 2 and 2/3 would be 8 over 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. Add on the 2 to give you 8, and 8 over 3. So we've come to the end of our video today, but you do have some tasks in your home learning pack. So if you're working at one idea, for the first part you need to write a mixed number fraction of each of the shaded sets of shapes. So if we look at A, you can see that 2 holes are clearly all shaded, giving you the whole number of 2. And in the last shape, you can see that there's 3 squares shaded out of 6. So your answer would be 2 and 3/6. For the second half of this task, you need to look at the fraction and then colour the diagrams to show the mixed number fraction and to an improper fraction. If you're working at few ideas, for the first half of your task, you need to colour the diagrams to convert the mixed number fractions into improper fractions. So for the first question, you would colour in all of the first 6 diagrams, and on the 7th diagram, you would only colour in 1 out of 2 pieces. And then for the last 3 questions, you are converting those mixed number fractions into an improper fractions, but without a diagram. Have a go. If you're working at Relate, your first 6 questions, you have to convert the mixed number fractions into an improper fraction. And then for the final 2 questions, you have 2 word problems. Now, these are quite tricky, and they do involve something that we haven't yet covered, but see if you can have a go and work out what you need to do. I'll post the answers to Padlet later on for all of the questions. Good luck, Year 5. Have a great day. Bye.